Hello, hello, and welcome back. It is season 2 finale time for My Pop 5. We've had 23 incredible episodes. This one is bringing it to a close for us, so thank you so much for tuning in and listening to today's episode. We have a special treat for you today. We have an incredible singer-songwriter, musician, producer based out of Liverpool. Her name is Tilly Louise. Tilly is such a phenomenal person, phenomenal musician, and we had such a good time speaking with her. As a little treat, we are going to enter in with one of her tunes. We talk about it pretty frequently throughout the episode, and this is a tune called Baggy T-Shirt. So, without further ado, here is our episode with Tilly Louise, and let's listen to a bit of Baggy T-Shirt. Hello, everyone. We are back. It's another episode of My Pop 5. We have an incredible guest for you here today by the name of Tilly Louise. Tilly is a Liverpool-based singer, songwriter, musician, music producer, and creator of such beautiful songs that I'm such a fan of. As you might remember, Tilly is a great friend of Kate Dorff from our first episode of this season. This is the first episode we've done where we asked for recommendations at the end. She provided one, and we got to connect with Tilly. So, Tilly, I love your music. I'm such a huge fan. Thank you so much for joining.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I think in our email back and forth, I shared it with you, but I'll say it here on record too. Like, I probably have listened to Baggy T-Shirt 2 times a day for like the past month. I am such a huge fan of that tune and so many of your other tunes. But yeah, that one especially, it's so good. And I'm, so inspired by it.
Oh, thank you. I do quite like that one myself. Yeah.
I saw another thing on your Instagram too, which was like so cool that you did like a listening party or something in a pub or of some sort, and it was just like I was one of those people as well, just screaming at the top of my lungs and wanting to be in that space. So great work on that tune.
Oh yeah, no, it was lovely. Just like a little pub that my friends work at. Like just went and hijacked the whole pub for the evening. It was really cool. Yeah, good way to celebrate the song. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one funny thing I think about that clip is, everyone, at least that you see in proximity of the video, is, screaming the lyrics at the top of their lungs. And then you see the bartender who's just kind of like doing his thing,
for God's sake.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really funny.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Tilly, I ask every guest here at the start of the episode, can you list your Pop 5 with no context, no comments? What is your Pop 5? And if you need to pull it up, you can.
My Pop 5 are Hayley Williams, YouTube, Be Around Me by Will Joseph Cook, TikTok, and Queensway Tunnel album by Zuzu.
Yes. Such good recommendations. Some of these I hadn't heard before and was so delighted. I think one of my favorite things about doing this show is when you hear, whether it's music or movies or whatever that inspires these people, and you can start to see the segments that you're like, oh, I can see that in Tilly, or I can see that in her work or in her art. And so there were so many moments throughout this that I was like, ooh, that's a cool little thing that I know I've heard either in your tunes or just in terms of your songwriting or whatever the case is. And so it was so cool. So I do want to get into that. But before we get into your Pop 5 specifically, why don't you tell us a bit about your background? Kind of tell me about your growing up experience. How did you get involved with music in the first place? And yeah.
Oh my God. I feel like it's kind of a mistake how it all kind of happened. Like my cousins are like some of my biggest inspirations. And when I was like 6 or 7, I think it was, my cousin Chloe was taking guitar lessons at the time. And I was just like, I want to be like her. And decided to get guitar lessons, carried on for far too many years. Then somehow someone managed to get me to sing when I was like 18, and then I wrote my first songs, and one of them I released like last year, September. But yeah, it was all a mistake kind of, but yeah, it's mainly influenced by my family and friends, like just wanting to have a good time, and yeah, I'm inspired by them, so that's how it kind of come about.
That's great. Yeah. And guitar lessons, did you go in and, I think when people are thinking of music lessons, they think of the, kid who goes and sits with the piano teacher and is having to learn classical Chopin tunes or something, but did you go in with like any sort of inspiration of what you wanted to learn to play, or what were they kind of teaching you in the lessons when you first started, if you remember?
One of the first songs I ever learned on the guitar was Misery Business by Paramore. So
yeah.
like it was kind of like the first time I'd ever heard Paramore. So I was like, this is cool. Like I want to carry on with this. So it wasn't like very formal. It was just kind of, you went in and the teachers were like, oh, I'm going to show you this song and we're going to learn this. And then, I just found out a bunch of great artists that I really ended up liking through those lessons. And I'd say that had a bit of an impact on my musical career and experience.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and get into that then, because that is the first one here, Ms. Hayley Williams. So it sounds like Hayley Williams, your intro to Hayley Williams was a guitar teacher showing you Misery Business for the first time.
Literally, yeah. It was Misery Business, yeah. And then I think I was like, I want to learn more of these songs. And then he was like, okay, we'll do Ignorance and stuff like that afterwards. Oh wait, was it? It might have been another song off Riot, because I don't think Ignorance was out yet. Wait.
Oh yeah, what? Sure.
Yeah, I think it was another song off Riot, but I was just wanting to learn loads and loads of Paramore tunes.
I know sometimes it's hard to pinpoint, because just sometimes when you like something. But what do you think it was about Misery Business or those tunes that you think hooked you in and was so captivating for you?
I think it was hearing such high energy songs with such a strong female lead. Like I was obviously like 7, about 7, and up until that point, like I'd only ever really seen what was in the chart, which is like pure like, I don't know, NSYNC, the Backstreet Boys. Like I don't know, I can't even think like Take That. Like I don't even know if Take That's like a big thing in America, but just a bunch of boy bands. Justin Timberlake, like but and then the Beyonce, but like seeing females singing with like a bunch of heavy rock guitars, I was like, this is cool.
Yeah, it was such a thing, you know. I think in a similar vein, we started seeing like some of this with like the Avril Lavigne's and of the world, you know, at that time. But Paramore was kind of the first ones where it was like, oh, this isn't a, I don't know, this is not to diminish Avril Lavigne, but, you know, it wasn't like kind of like a pop star trying to do this thing, but like this band was the thing, you know, like it was the first time to have this music and it be authentic to that space. And so, it was really captivating, you know? Yeah.
Like I'm not like a huge fan of ballads or like, I'll listen to them, but like when I was younger, especially, like if there was no like fast drums, like heavy guitars, like a super thick like rumbling bass that was like super energetic, I wasn't interested in like hearing that with like a super amazing female vocal over the top. I was like, like this is my favorite band, like straight away. But and it wasn't ballady, like it was it's super cool and told a story, but like I don't know, just because it wasn't a ballad, I guess. But I don't hate ballads. Like it was
you just prefer
a nice
the energy
difference. It was just a nice difference.
Totally. No, that makes sense. And so when you're learning these tunes, did you, at this point you hadn't heard, did you go immediately buy the records, or you know, you were just a big fan at that point of the band in general?
I think I come home and was like showing my mum and dad that I could like play this song, and they were like, oh, that's cool. And I think they were just made up I didn't take up drums, because it's quite a drum heavy song, isn't it? But, I came home, learned that, and then found the other songs and like the first album, like Conspiracy, Emergency and stuff like that. I was like, oh, this is really cool. So I just ended up going on like a big rabbit hole, like when I was like 7, of just Paramore tunes on YouTube and seeing how young she was as well. Like I think that was quite like inspiring to be like, whoa, she's doing such cool things. Like the whole band are doing such cool things, but to see a woman so young doing so well was really nice.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's got to be inspiring, I think, because there, like you mentioned, there wasn't much in that space for people to do that, and at so young. Have you had a chance to ever see them play live?
I've never seen them play. I feel like it's probably a good thing that I've not seen them, because I don't think I'd ever recover ever again. Like I don't think I'd come back from it. Like
That's funny. I had seen them actually. They were opening for No Doubt, I think, maybe probably
No
like
way.
10, 12 years ago.
Oh my God.
Yeah, such a dang cool experience. So if you ever do, I know you may say you may not ever recover. It's worth it. I think you would have to, make it happen for
Oh,
sure.
I'm definitely gonna see them again. Like I've heard that they're making like a comeback, and it's gonna be like pop punk vibes. Apparently, I've got to go and see them. Like I don't think it'll be my last day on earth, but it'll be so worth it.
Oh, that's funny. I'm curious, you mentioned a couple of things about like definitely from like an instrumental perspective, like that's something that was inspiring to you as a youth. I'm curious how that's evolved, because I think that one of the things is like, I really love your production on records. I think you helped Kate, who we mentioned, on some of her records, but then your tunes as well. I think the production is so good. So it's clear that I think you have an instrumental focus, but then you've also touched on things like vocal performance in terms of hearing how she sounds, and some aspects of lyricism and things. And so curious, how would you say what does your ear gravitate towards first, when you're kind of sucked into music, and what's your kind of process for dissecting those other parts? Because all of those elements are so important from the music production standpoint.
Oh my goodness, that is such a good question.
Yeah.
I think it depends every time. Like,
sure.
Something I'm always drawn into, like without a doubt, is like super cool drums, like heavy drums every time, like really, really high energy drums. You're gonna have to tell me the question again, because I'm like.
No, you're good. So like, it sounds like what brings you in mostly, it sounds like instrumental performances, right? It's kind of like the energy is the foundation, right? For I think what sucks you in. I guess I was curious because I think you are also such an excellent songwriter and, vocalist as well, and pay attention to melody. Curious, like what your ear gravitated towards first, which it sounds like it was instrumental. And then what do you do to kind of hone in on the other aspects, right? Whether it is the lyricism or the melodic space. And if there's any instances where those come to you first,
Okay, right, I'm on to it now. This is like, sorry, it's been a long day.
You're good.
When it comes to like piecing a song together, it's definitely drums and like a beat. I want to make something quite interesting, but with loads of energy. So I like to make things very difficult for my drummer, personally. I apologize to him every time I send a new song. I'm just like, I'm really sorry. But he pulls it off really well. He does it even better every single time. But it'll be creating the drums, and then on top of that, it'll be like the guitar. Like I feel like I'm not like the best guitar player, but I can play my stuff. I feel like I can create like a vibe, if that's what you'd say, like around what I wanted the song's energy to be like. Like, and lyrics are usually like the last part. Like it's the whole. I usually do a full production of a song first before I've even thought of lyrics or a melody, and it'll be like it might be an odd lyric that I've got in my notes page on my phone. Like I've got like a really, really, really ridiculously long notes page, and it's just got really random lyrics in there. But I'd say the only time I've not done that was with Baggy T-shirt. And it was just like, I wrote that on a bass. Like I was just like plucking the bass and like playing it and like quietly in my bedroom. Yeah. I think I remember writing it on the bass, like whispering it. And then I sent the voice note to Kate and was like, what do you think of this? And they were like, that's cool. You should probably do something with it.
Wow. That's cool.
So that's the only time I've ever like not produced a full thing before writing a song.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. When that happens, it's especially when it's something that's outside of your normal process, it can feel both scary and exciting all at the same time, and just like all consuming. So that's cool to hear. And so that's cool from like a writing process. Do you think that's also true from like your listening standpoint, that melody and lyrics are the things you listen to the least when you're like listening to new tunes?
Oh, I don't know, because I think it's certain lyrics that stick out to me where I'll be listening to a song, like, just for an example, like this song by Will Joseph Cook he released a few weeks ago. It's called Bop. It's really cool. It is a bop. And it's like, I didn't really understand the lyrics when I first heard it live. Like, I couldn't really hear what he was saying properly. And then listening to the song when it's recorded, it was like oh, that's a really cool melody. Wait, what does he say again? And then I was like, oh, the lyrics really cool too. So I definitely think it's more of a vibe overall of the instrumentation, followed by the melody, and then I'm like, oh, the lyrics are really cool as well. Like I think it's a very, I don't know, maybe I need subtitles or something all the time just to be able to tell what things are saying. But yeah, I think it's an instrumental thing straight away for me.
Totally. I think that's pretty common. I went to music school as well. I'm a drummer as well. So hearing that drums power things for you is exciting. However, I think I'm the opposite in that, like, I think I do gravitate towards lyricism more and like kind of what are things are saying. And I think I've generally gravitated towards singer-songwriter music because I love the melody and the lyricism of it all.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I love ripping drums, you know, and so like like you were saying on Misery Business, like that, yeah, of course, if you started with that as like a drummer, that there's no way that could have been the first song you learned as a drummer. Yeah, it's so cool to hear, I think, that how people kind of listen to music, you know, whether it's passive or active listening, there's generally something that pulls them in. And, you know, hearing that it's the vibe and the instrumentation is awesome. Because I think you hear it in your tunes as well, because you create such that the second, you know, I keep bringing up Baggy T-shirt just because it's top of mind, but just the way that one hits right at the beginning and that guitar riff at the beginning, it's just like you're instantly in this space that, you know, you intended to create, which was great.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, no, like my band are like unbelievable, like a gang of really, really amazing musicians. I really, really like want to just emphasize how good they are all the time. So I'll make like such big instrumental songs. Like I don't know, I can't write very stripped back songs. I think it's because I've subconscious thing of not really liking the sound of my voice. So it's like wanting to make like a really cool instrumental song, and then I'm just like shouting over the top of it. But I get what you mean, like, because I love melody too, like really really cool melodies on top of a really cool instrumental. That song, Baggy T-shirt, one of my favorite instrumental ones, I'd say.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And I think it's true even with like laughing, your tune Laughing as well. Like I think that one also just has good instrumentals too. So
thanks.
Honestly, they're all vibes. You know, Calypso too. I think that one, like, you know, you get in that vibe, you know, it's great. Well, moving back to Hayley Williams a bit, I'm curious, have you listened to her like solo EPs, the Petals for Armor stuff? And did you enjoy those as well?
Love them. Yeah. Oh my God. I keep bringing up Cake because like we just kept discussing the albums over lockdown. Yeah, we like send, I think it was, what was it, Flowers for Vases, because that was like, that album came out and I just sent it to Kate first thing when it came out. And I was like, this is right up your street, because they love like Phoebe Bridgers and stuff like that. So I was like, this is perfect for you. I love those albums a lot. I didn't manage to get the vinyls, but because I think they sold out, but I don't know. But I really love them, especially the first one. Like that was such a good lockdown album. Like
it was.
Yeah, and like from what I heard, like another massive inspiration to me is that she played all the instruments on Flowers for Vases and recorded it all herself. Like as far as I'm aware, apparently she did. I don't know if that's true, so don't quote me on it. But apparently she did. And I was just like, that is amazing. Yeah. Super cool.
That is incredible. Yeah. I think one of the things that's been interesting too for me is just how unique and I guess confident in herself she can be. I can't assume like that she has a lot of self-confidence, but I think in terms of like the way she presents herself and the way she is so stern in who she is and who she wants to be, you know, whether it was like aspects of faith or aspects of what she wants the musical identity to be, and being able to explore, and like she, you know, has featured on vocals with like B.O.B., you know, back in the day, and is doing this other stuff, like incredibly unique and very much herself. I think she sticks out in so many ways, while also staying true. And so I think it's been awesome to see her career grow. And so when she did this solo album or these EPs and things, it was just like so cool to kind of finally see, I think, all Hayley, like you're talking about, where, you know, Paramore is this thing. And I think people might have put her in a box with what she could create, and being able to expand beyond that with this Petals for Armor stuff and the, you know, Roses, bringing in the Phoebe Bridgers and like just creating this whole new thing was such a cool thing.
Yeah, no, it was really nice to hear her, like as much as Paramore has her voice and like her words or whatever, it was nice to hear her, and like I like to call it like hearing her brain or hearing people's brains, like when you hear the music, because like it was so far from what Paramore is. Like, and I really loved how different it was in comparison to, like, every single song was completely different. And I thought that was something that was really cool. Like, there was funky ones and there was like super sad ones, and you just didn't know what was coming. Like, when she first released Shimmer, it was just like, whoa, this is like Billie Eilish. And then it was like, then she released, was it Sudden Desire? And that was like super minimal. And then it was like a big, huge like chorus. And it was like, what the hell is going on? It was so cool. Yeah.
You know, such good tunes. Audience, if you haven't listened, please go listen to those. But before we move on from Hayley Tilly, I'm curious. I know Misery Business was your start, but if you had to pick a few or one, what is like a tune for you that like you're just like, this is the song, or these are the songs in terms of her catalog that you swear by?
Oh my God, that is such a horrible question.
Maybe just how you feel right at the moment. We won't hold it to you forever, but
purely just because you brought up Baggy T-shirt, like Grudges. Like, I love Grudges, and that was like one of the references for Baggy T-shirt from the After Laughter album. And if I had to pick one off of her albums, it would probably be Pure Love. Yeah, that one. Love Pure Love. The bass line in it, the vocals. It's so good.
Awesome. Well, cool. Let's move on to your next one here, and that is YouTube. At this point, everyone is aware and has used YouTube, whether you know it or not. But it's still cool to see it come through, because I think everyone has such a different experience with YouTube, right? There are the common elements, but it's like there are so many different aspects of it. So tell me, what do you love about YouTube? How did you come across it, and kind of why is it here on your Pop 5?
The reason why I picked YouTube is purely because of the musicians I've found from YouTube. Like, I didn't have like Spotify and stuff until I was like 18, really. And it was like, that was how I got my music, from YouTube. And then I'd go and buy the albums. But like, finding like independent artists on there, like, that was the coolest thing, because it was just like, you'd find all like these little songs that would just be earworms, like Ola Gartland, Dodie, Will Joseph Cook was one of them that I found on YouTube. Sarah Bareilles, like, everyone's obviously heard of Sarah Bareilles, but like, I only really knew Love Song, and then I came across one of their songs called Gonna Get Over You, found that on there. I was like, that is a tune. Like, love. There's so many like artists. Cave Town, there's loads of them. Yeah, like, just from YouTube alone, like, these little artists that inspired me, like, they made little videos and they were really cool. Like, it was very 2013, but
Do you remember like how you first came across it? Was it searching something else and then the recommended? Was it like music videos or live performances, or what were kind of the ways that you were coming across these other artists? And maybe there's varying reasons, but curious if there was like something that sticks in your mind.
Well, one of the first YouTube videos I ever watched was like of a musician. I think it was like a Dodie cover, like a couple of years ago. It was just on like recommended page. I honestly couldn't remember what it was, which is bad. But on the side was like videos of her and Ola Gartland doing videos together, like Tessa Violet and stuff. And then there was, I think I just went like on a big binge of like just watching Dodie's little videos where she was just singing in like her own songs, like Paint and like She and stuff like that. They just stuck with me, where I'd be like going to school and I'd like be listening to like Dodie on YouTube and stuff like that. And then Ola Gartland's like Red Brick Paradise. Don't know if you've heard that one. It's quite Paramore-y, so I was obviously like drawn into that one straight away. And they weren't like super high budget videos or anything like that, and the recordings weren't like great. Like, they were just straight off a camera, but the songs were so good that you didn't care. And I just loved how accessible it was. Like, you could just, these people just had an idea and was like, oh, I'm gonna put this song on YouTube. And all of them are just so amazing. So they've like stuck with me. And when they started making like cool videos for them, I was just like, okay, this is what I've got to do. I've got to make little funny videos now.
No, that's awesome. I had similar experience. I got sucked into like cover YouTube for, when I was in high school and things too. Of like people, you find someone who has like a really beautiful voice or, it's incredible what they do. And you find out they start doing covers. You're just like, I was introduced to like Sufjan Stevens or Bon Iver or stuff like that from people doing covers, and like, oh, I'd never heard this song. Sure, I heard it from some girl, doing it at her high school talent show or something. But now I know that song and learn these artists, and just these various ways that YouTube can kind of just introduce you to all types of different things,
Literally, yeah. Like one of my favorite bands, I was introduced, like Fickle Friends. I don't know if you've heard of them. I was introduced to one of their songs when Dodie done a cover of it like a few years ago. I'd heard one of their songs before and I hadn't realised. And then Dodie done a cover of, I think it was Glue. And I was like, oh my God, I love this song. And then I went on and seen that I'd already like listened to a few of their songs and not even realised. Years down the line, I was just like a massive fan and ended up opening for them a few years ago and opened for them again in January. Like it's the weirdest thing ever. Like, yeah, just from like being reminded of them from that one Dirty video and stuff like that. It's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's like such a cool like life moment to be like, because when you were watching those videos, that was probably never even like conceivable, So the fact that you had to leave that, it's insane.
Yeah, literally. I didn't even sing then. Like I just I didn't even write songs. Like I just wouldn't have even thought it. So like I'd never seen Fickle Friends live before until I'd opened for them. Like I'd really wanted to for years, and then I finally just got to open for them, and I was like, this is the weirdest thing ever. It's mad, like the things that you can discover from YouTube alone and things you can learn from it as well. It's just been a massive influence on my life, especially growing up throughout high school. I feel like everyone had something to show you off YouTube when you're in high school.
Yeah, that was the thing, that when you're hanging out with friends, it's like, oh, what's something cool or funny or something that you've seen on YouTube, and you're kind of just trying to one up each other with the coolest or funniest video next, and everyone's just like, oh, try this one, that experience.
It always
so
like jump scare videos as well.
Yes. Yeah, I still sometimes feel like, I don't know about this when I click on some of these where it's just like I was burned too many times to either think it was like a Rickroll or a jump scare or something like that where they, get you. Yeah. I'm curious, has it helped you? Because I know a lot of YouTubes and producers specifically use a lot of like gain producer tips from YouTube as well. Do you use it from like a studious perspective to, learn how to EQ or learn how to do these things when you're doing the production side of things?
I'd only really gotten into like production within like the last 2 years or so, because I feel like during lockdown a lot of people were like, oh well, I can show you this now that I've got plenty of time to explain it. And Disclosure, like the DJ duo, they I don't know if it's on their account, but they would do like live streams or like super long videos, and they'd be breaking down their songs. And I'm not massively into dance music or anything like that, but the way that their songs sound and like the energy that they get from them, I'd love to know how to do that and apply it to like artists that I'm working with and stuff. So yeah, like watching those videos and like their ideas that they have in the songs is super cool. Like there's loads of little silly things that I could take away from their videos alone. And then Jacob Collier done some like breakdown videos. And I like, not only did I find them like super therapeutic, like I know people like listen to ASMR when they're going to bed. I'll just throw on a Jacob Collier Logic breakdown session, and he's just like, I'd done this harmony, and then I'd done like 15 other harmonies on top of that, and this is how it sounds. And it's just like, that's really cool. I'm gonna rob how you did that with your channel stacks and stuff like that. It's just really, really silly. But, and it was also awesome. Like a nerdy point of view, it was also really nice to see how like people organize their Logic files. And I'd just be like, my pages look way neater than yours, just saying.
And it's crazy too, because sometimes even with like hit songs or whatever, those sessions look terrible, but
so
they like
messy. I don't get how people work in them. Like, you do you, but I could not cope with that at all.
Yeah. Yeah. One last question on YouTube before we move on, but were you like an active commenter or anything, or is it just like a viewer for the most part?
I was the viewer, yeah. I'd like the
Yeah.
video, or if I was like halfway through watching it, it'd get added to a playlist being like, watch this later. Like, yeah, it was just, or the watch list, yeah. It was never a
Yeah.
commenter. I don't know. I feel like quite a lot of my friends commented, but
Yeah.
they had like alter
No, that's the
egos
thing.
on YouTube, I think.
Yeah, that's something I never did, but there are a ton of people doing it. So I was just
Yeah.
curious.
Oh yeah. No,
Nothing
YouTube's a
against
weird
it
one.
one way or the other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
totally.
the closest thing to a comment that I've done on YouTube is like my friends used to have like YouTube channels, and I'd like edit their videos and film them and stuff like that, and I think I'd
Oh,
just
cool.
like do like the little description thing. I think that was literally the closest thing to a comment I had to.
Hey, it works.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you mentioned this artist and finding them through YouTube, and that is Will Joseph Cook. You wrote down specifically the tune "Be Around Me." So tell me a bit about your love for that tune, how you came across it, and what's so captivating about it for you.
Oh, well, Will Joseph Cook's an artist I've loved for years, like literally
Mhm.
since I was about 15 or 16.
Mhm.
But yeah, he released that tune 2020, like summer of 2020. And I just
Mhm.
thought it was like really cool. Like it's just super high energy. And there's like a section where it sounds like, well, the chorus sounds like a call and response between like a girl and a boy who's like in love kind of thing, or they've got like massive
Mhm.
crush on each other. I was like, that is really
Mhm.
cute. And I decided to do a little cover of it myself with my friend
Mm.
Callum, and it's on my
Yeah.
YouTube channel. Like when I said like we made stupid video, like, it's my turn to make stupid videos. We made a really stupid video, and
Yeah.
it was really fun to do. Like I produced it all like in a night, like just uploaded it the next day. It actually caught Will's attention, like he saw it,
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah, and his brother Charlie, like one of his mix engineers on his album, ended up getting in contact with Charlie. So like that song, I feel like opened the door to like
Wow.
how much better my songs sound now. Like because I'll
Mm.
produce all my music and then Charlie will mix it. Like it's just like the maddest thing ever. Because like Will's heard my song. Sometimes he's heard my songs before I have.
Wow.
Like yeah, like well, I think
Yeah.
so ananyway. From when Charlie's like played it out of his speakers or whatever. So it's like yeah,
Yeah.
like he's heard my song before me kind of thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, just from that song alone, doing a little video of it. And it's just a really cool song as well. Like I feel like everyone would kind of enjoy it. Like blew up on TikTok too. Like everyone was
Mm.
making little videos with like their like buffer and juffers and all that. Like they were all loving it.
Yeah.
That's boyfriend and girlfriend. If you didn't catch
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. No, I got you.
Yeah, but yeah, just a really really cool song, and that song I count as like a little door for me that like
Mhm.
caused me to like make a really cool connection with Charlie
Yeah.
Cook. And yeah, just like the fact that one of my inspirations is like heard some of my songs now is like really
Yeah.
weird. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. I mean, it's exciting, and
Yeah.
one of the things that I find interesting about this song, well, he's also very young too, I think in terms of just as a young artist. And so
Yeah.
I understand he also just released a new album yesterday, I believe,
Yeah, it's
from when
really
we're
good.
recording this. So I need to go through and listen to it. I haven't just yet. But what I loved about this tune that you sent, and I saw there's two versions, like one with Gloria Mariando as well,
Yeah.
in addition,
I'm
which
claiming that was inspired by mine and my friend Callum's cover, like because it came out after that. So Will, send me a check in the post. Me, come on.
Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah. What I think is like very cute about this song is like, yes, it's about like the having a crush on one another, but like I love some of the lyrics, like him saying like smoky tenny ten, when he's like referring to the girl character, or there's a line that like the did you call me baby, and then like the call and response that you
Yeah,
mentioned, and it's
I
like,
love
yeah,
that
is that
bit.
okay? Yeah,
Yeah,
and then I liked
love
it,
that bit.
like that. Yeah, there's those moments where it's just like, oh yeah, this feels good, because those feelings, of just trying to fill one another out, trying to be like, oh, I like you, do you like me, and just
You do?
this
Okay,
understanding.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's such a cool song because I think everyone can relate to that feeling, and it's both exciting and uncomfortable and all of it, all those feelings. Yeah, it's so relatable, and it's such a cool tune. So I'm glad you
Yeah.
shared it with me. Yeah.
Oh no, it's like I described the song when I first heard it. Like the song gave me butterflies when I first heard it, and like all of the song itself, like it's like super like high energy, fast paced, and like the guitars are super fizzy and stuff like that. And I was like, maybe that's why he's like done it, because it's like that weird, horrible like feeling of like fizzy butterflies in your stomach and all that. And then all the lyrics are like, oh, like super cute. Like, yeah, it's a really lovely song.
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I think it's such a feeling that I think can in the moment feel like anxiety, but at the same time it can also just be like
Excitement.
You live for those moments, you
Yeah.
live for that feeling sometimes, because it's so unique.
No, definitely.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't want to keep it too long, so we will go ahead and get on to the next one here, and that is TikTok. What's funny, this was also on Kate's, so you guys share something on your pop five. I understand that's also how you connected. So tell me a bit about TikTok, what you love about TikTok, and why it's here on your list.
Literally a similar answer to Kate's, purely because of the amazing people I've met through TikTok, like Kate being one of them, and like Kate's girlfriend Carrie. I knew of Carrie obviously through Kate. They're both just like amazing people and like super creative. Like I think Carrie's TikTok's basically them like doing all like their cool like glass art with Kate. And they make like really cool clothing and stuff like that. So it's the variation. I met a bunch of other musicians like Kate Stevenson. Don't know if you've heard of her.
I'm not familiar.
Oh, amazing. Like I came across a video of her like singing in her kitchen one day, or she was just like dancing around the kitchen, and she produces all her own stuff and writes all I think a song's called like Xless. I'm just gonna check real quick because I don't want to lie. I don't want to lie on record, right? Yeah, Xless. See, I didn't want to say Xless or no X's or something like that. And it was like a song basically about like how she's never had a relationship, but like has all like I think it's like never had a relationship, but has had all the feelings of like wanting to be in one, and like the closest thing to it. And I was just like, that is a really nice song. Like it sounded really nice. Like obviously going back to the instrumental and the melodies and stuff like that, it was like, oh, this is really good. I think it was just like a scratch demo that she had on TikTok or something, and it blew up loads. But I just saw it and I sent her a message and was like, hey, like I'd done exactly what I did when I saw Kate's songs like on TikTok. I was like, hey, if you ever need a producer, like I'd love to get involved. And Kate Stevenson got back to me and was like, I do it all myself, but I'd love to work on something sometime together. And I think me and Kate are gonna try and arrange to do like a couple of shows in the UK together. And I was like, I help you do some shows, you help me get some shows in the US, and we've not actually discussed it since, but we've both been busy. Like it's fine. We'll get to it. But like, she's a really cool artist. Definitely should check her out. And like photographers and stuff like that, like through TikTok, like gig photographers, seeing their work. And then one of my friends, Jess, she's a really cool gig photographer. Her name's Seymour Snaps. Like I knew her anyway, but she's blowing up on TikTok from like hair cool photos and stuff like that. And I think she's made a couple of connections through that herself, like with other photographers. I just think TikTok's such a cool platform. And like the production videos, there's loads of people that post like really, really cool production videos that you wouldn't normally see, because it's someone that's just found something like as they're doing it and they've gone, oh, let me just take a video of this really quick so that other people know about it. Super little nerdy things that you wouldn't realize that are super helpful.
It's incredible. I think the very similar to what we were talking about YouTube, like I think you can see TikTok, especially when it was first coming out, and think it was just people doing silly dances or trying to be a Vine ripoff in some capacity with comedy skits, but there are so many helpful things. I've been like in there and seeing people doing like job interview tips, or people like, I got lost in one guy who was like going through like he was a car salesman for 25 years and like what you should be thinking about when buying a car. Like you could just get lost in like TikTok in the various different spaces. But do you remember either one, were you an early adapter, or did you have apprehension about downloading the app, or kind of what was your experience about first getting on before you started to meet all these people, if you remember?
From what I'd heard, it was like teenagers dancing and like people doing like thirst traps and stuff like that. And it's just like, that is cringe. But as soon as I like downloaded the app, like one of the first videos I saw was like some guy like fishing or something. I was like, right, okay. But then it tells you to like curate your own For You page. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to keep swiping until I see something that I like. And like one of the first videos I liked was this girl who was like saying she was looking for like ways to, what was the word, like formally say something on an email to someone. So she was saying like how can you say like, that sounds like a you problem or something.
Yes,
like,
yes.
Just, like,
I've seen those.
Yeah, and it's like some
she
guy
has like
like
a friend that's like talked about
like that was one of the first things that I saw, and that was like a while ago, like 2019 I think. But I've never had like any shame around getting it. Like I've actively said it's a really good app. Like I've told loads of people to get it, and they're all like, no, not getting it, it's not funny and all that shit. But it is. It's hilarious. The people on there are too funny. Like, where do you get these thoughts from, kind of thing?
Yeah.
I think I've developed a personality from TikTok alone. It's really not okay.
Yeah, I've even seen those TikToks of people like walking through and saying they're like, how you know you watch too much TikTok, and they're just like singing all the like trending songs or saying all the that's crazy, you know, or like just the various lines that you come across. The
longest time I was singing that the creators called like Mac Smith, and they like they'd rewrote the Alanis Morissette song Hand in My Pocket. It was like, I'm smart but I'm stupid. Like I was just singing that for the longest time, like just breaking out into it. It's so silly.
Oh yeah, it's so good, and I think like what's cool is you know, even for my show, I found y'all through TikTok and stuff too, you know. And some other guests that I've had, it's such a great way to connect and find and have visibility on really great art and great creators and people that are doing stuff. So it's awesome.
I love how varied it is. Like you could like post a video of you knitting, and then the next video could be like you walking a dog, and like people would love both of those videos just as much because it goes to the right people. Like it's really really cool how it all works. It's so clever.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. And it's almost knows you too well sometimes, you know, where you're like,
it's just, some of the videos me and my friends tag each other in is just like, how does this happen? Like how have we managed to get our For You pages to know us better than ourselves?
All right. Well, we'll move on to your last one here, Tilly. Queensway Tunnel, the Zuzu record. Tell me, I was so blown away by this record, and it was just so good, top to bottom. Tell me though, what did you love about it? How did you come across it, and why is it so inspiring for you?
Oh my god, this is a big one. So I've been a fan of Zuzu for like when I started university is when I first heard of her, because there was like, so that was like 2018. There was like posters of her everywhere, all around Liverpool, and I was like, who's this chick? Like, who is she? Like, I'm gonna go and listen. So I had a little listen, and her music was super cool. I was like, whoa, okay, I'm in. Sign me up, kind of thing. And then I'd never gotten a chance to like see her. Like, I didn't know anyone who would know of her to go and see her or anything. And one of them where like you'd listen to the songs for a while, and then like you got so busy that you just forgot to listen to music in general. And then we went into lockdown, which was a bit annoying, and everything stopped. And last summer, I was put on a festival, and she was like, I think she was either co-headline or like the like second to last artist on, and I was like, oh my god, okay, I'm so excited, I'm so ready, and I was just blown away from like the minute she came on stage. Like, she has such a crazy presence about her, and then she started talking. And she sounded like me when she was talking, like her accent. Like, I was just like, oh my god, like, like it was a feeling of like pure inspiration. But I was like, I could do that. Like, I'd played earlier on in the day, and I was just like, whoa, like I could do that. Like, I was on this like same same bill and everything. I was like, I could do that. And she played this song at the very end called Queensway Tunnel, and she just done it acoustic, and the entire audience was completely silent, like,
wow,
just captivated, like, and you could hear a pin drop in the room kind of thing. And it just, I just remember crying. Like, I was so emotional. Like, I was like, this is unbelievable, because it was the first like gig back after lockdown, after COVID like had gone away. And yeah, and I was just like, this is crazy. And I spoke to her at the end, like, still like wiping away my tears, and I went up to her and was like, you made me cry, like, for all the best reasons, like, thank you so much, like, you're amazing, you've made me feel inspired. And she like, I think she was just like, you're bevved, like, you're drunk, like, or whatever. She's like, thank you so much, what's your name? I was like, it's Tilly. And then she was like, oh, it's lovely to meet you. And I was like, it's really, really nice to meet you, hope to see you again soon. And I ended up covering her song on like my Instagram a couple of days later, and she reposted me and then followed me, and I was like, fangirl. I was like, oh my god, Zuzu's followed me. Oh my god. Like, running around the house going to my mum's, she's followed me. Like, it was like a panic. And she announced like that she was releasing an album, or she'd already done it. I can't remember. It was all a blur. I was panicking the whole time. And yeah, she'd announced that she was releasing an album. I was like, I can't wait. I sent her a message and was like, I literally can't wait for this album. I need to hear that song again. And she sent me the entire album, like, months earlier. And I was like, you've created a monster. Like, you shouldn't have done that. And I just remember like looping Queensway Tunnel like on repeat. I was like, this song is unbelievable. And she was super like she must have been sick of me being like, this is amazing, like, every day. And I just said to her, like, if you ever do a show, can I please open? And she was like, oh, I'll see what I can do. Like, I know a bunch of friends would want to open or whatever. I was like, oh, just give me mine. Like, it'd be a dream. And I got an email I got a text off my booking agent, and he was like, Zuzu's booked. And I was like, sorry, what? And he was like, you're opening for Zuzu. And I was like, you can't say things like that at all. You can't do that to me. And he was like, no, you're opening for her. I was like, wow. I just remember combusting. And then like I got invited to an album launch party, and I was fangirling the entire night. Like, that whole like 6-7 months period, I just count as like some of the best months ever, just from like that, like, coming back from COVID and then being introduced to this person who I looked up to and then felt like pure inspiration. And when I opened for it, that was such a special show. Like, it was just the whole the audience was electric. Like, it was really, really unbelievable. And like, I met a bunch of people who are now like fans of my music, and I call them my friends because they're really lovely people, and I speak to them like most days. Like, it was just another door to like such great things. Like, met so many amazing people just from that one little song that I really loved, Future Yard, last year. It was unbelievable. Really, really unbelievable. And it's such a good album too. Every song's so good. But that song sticks out to me. It's special to me.
Yeah, it is a beautiful, beautiful song. I think that just the way it closes, like you mentioned, it's like a nice little bow. I think the first two tunes, like Tie and Lie to Myself, like, are just like, I was instantly just hooked with both those two. My favorite one, I think, is Toaster. I just really like that one. But I think it's such a great record. That is such a cool story, though. You know, I think I think from both sides of things, you know, I think when I was touring and doing my work, I like always wanted to be able to give the people who would come talk to me what they would want, you know, and I always felt like, oh, I don't think I gave them what they needed in that moment, you know, as someone who like wanted to meet me. But then at the same time, like, I always feel so nervous going up to artists or people that I want to talk to, like in your situation, and feeling like, oh, am I being too much? So I think like what I realized is both parties feel uncomfortable in that moment. Like, they want to give the other person the right thing, and they want it to be a perfect interaction, but like both people are just like at the end, like, that didn't go the way I wanted it to, you know? So
I
no
was
matter
intimidated by Zuzu. She was like just the coolest person ever. I was like, oh my goodness. And then I met her properly. Like I went round to her house and we like filmed a video together and stuff like that. She's just the loveliest person I've ever met. Like just really, really lovely. And I'm like, why was I like so panicked by this person? Like, but it's an awkward one, isn't it? It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Someone coming to be like, well done, you're great. And you're like, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean that's almost, you could say, it's like, hey, thank you so much, you know, but then you could tell they're wanting more a little bit sometimes, and you're like, I don't know what to do in this instance, you know.
Oh no, I always seem to manage to make it really awkward. I'm always like, I was sweating. Oh my God, was it okay? And they're all like, yeah, it was a really good time. I was like, I'm really sorry for the hug I just gave you. I'm really, really warm kind of thing. Like, and I had one girl say to me once that I smelled really nice. I was like, well, that's a surprise because I'm really, really warm. I always seem to make it quite awkward, but oh well.
Hey, they have a memory. That's something that they could take back.
Oh
well. Well, awesome. That's such a good story. Yeah. Before we kind of close things out, curious. I know you love Queensway Tunnel. Are there any other favorites on that record for you? Of songs?
I think next to Queensway Tunnel, it'd have to be maybe The Van is Evil. I love the message behind it. And like, Zuzu went out and like, she done a big like tidy up. Like she went and like got a bunch of people in like a bunch of different places in like around Liverpool in the northwest, and went litter picking and like cleaned up like areas and stuff like that. And it's about like looking after the planet and stuff like that. So yeah, it's like super cool. She's a great person. She's boss Zuzu.
Yes, go listen to that. Go listen to that.
Yeah. Well, and she sings in a Scouse accent too, so that's always nice. Yeah.
It's different. It's unique for sure. Yeah. All right. Well, before we let you go, Tilly, we ask all of our guests 5 rapid fire questions to close out the show. So first one here, Tilly, if you could be on a reality TV show, which one would you choose?
Oh my God, I don't watch any. Do you know what? Right. I don't know if they have it in America. There's this program. I don't know if it's still a thing, but it seems like it could be quite fun. There's this show called I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. And although I'm not a celebrity, it could be quite fun. And they basically go out to like Australia, like they get like a bunch of really random celebrities, a bit like Big Brother. They take them out into like the wilderness in Australia, and they have to do all like these challenges, and it'd be like eating bugs and like getting like super dirty and stuff like that. I feel like that could be quite fun, although I hate dirt and like insects and stuff. I feel like it'd be really funny. Like
okay,
so probably that. I'm a Celebrity.
All right, I love that. If people have never consumed any of your pop 5, what's the one you'd want them to go experience right now?
Queensway Tunnel by Zuzu.
Queensway Tunnel. As a producer, who's an artist that you'd love to work with?
Ooh.
Who would it be?
I'm torn between Jade Bird and Orla Garland.
Orla Garland. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Amazing. Where's some place you go for inspiration?
I go for a run. I go for a run. If I'm stuck for something, I will literally put on some heavy metal music and go for a run and run until I can't breathe. And then I've usually got an idea by the time I've come back.
Wow, that's awesome. All right. Last one here, Tilly. What's something you tell a past version of yourself?
Just do it. Like, what is the worst that can happen? Ask the question. You don't ask, you don't get. Just literally do it. Yeah.
That's beautiful advice. Well, now's the time, Tilly. Can you tell people where can they follow you? Anything you want to promote? Anything that you have coming up, coming out? Plug away. Everything that you've got.
Oh, well, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Spotify, all that jazz under Tilly Louise, and my @ Tilly Louise Music. And at the minute, I'm about to go on a little mini tour across the UK. So I don't know if this will come out anytime soon. I might have already done it. Maybe it was a success. Maybe it wasn't. Who knows? But I'm about to do that in a couple of weeks' time, which is quite terrifying but exciting. And I'm hoping to release an EP very soon.
Heck yeah. That's amazing.
That's like spoken about quietly because God knows when that's getting released, but it'll happen.
Yeah, well, we'll be looking out for it. And in the bio, everyone, you can find the links to all of her socials and upcoming dates in the bio to this episode. So, Tilly, this was such a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining. I am forever a fan, and getting to chat with you has been just so incredible and so awesome to just meet you and learn the person behind the tunes and the awesome songs. So thank you so much for joining the show.
Well, thank you for letting me chat your ear off for an hour.
My favorite thing to do. My favorite thing. We'll talk soon. Thank you so much.
No problem.
All right, that'll do it for today's show and season 2 of My Pop 5. Thank you so much to everyone who's listened. Thank you so much to all of the guests that joined the show this year. And most importantly, thank you so much to my internal crew, Daniel, Brianna, Veronica. I'm so thankful for you and all of the work that you put in. We will be coming back. We will have a season 3. Stay tuned to us on socials. Follow us on Instagram at MyPop5 to stay in the loop. And we will be back with season 3, hopefully here pretty soon. We're going to go ahead and close out today's episode by listening to the rest of the great Baggy T-shirt by Tilly Louise. So here it is in its entirety, Baggy T-shirt. We'll see you next season. But until then, what's your Pop 5?